That's what, like about a year in the community, isn't it?
Hey, well, how how long
First
did
of
it
many,
take me to get
hopefully.
my how long did it take me to get my first win, Andy?
Well, to be fair, you were kind of helped by the fact that you were racing in tier three.
No, that was in tier one. My very first win in motive was in the GT3s and the Nissan at Circuit of the Americas.
Oh, at the top level, in yeah.
I'm talking about at all.
Was it GT3 at
Yeah,
Kota?
yeah,
No,
yes.
that was you do that was like way in.
Uh huh.
That wasn't your first win. Didn't you win at?
It was.
Really? No,
Yes.
no, no. You won. You won in Motive way before that because your
Nope.
Clio win at Snetterton was way before that.
No.
Yeah, definitely. Your Clio win at Snetterton was way before that. But Leo, I remember like Silverstone National last season where you came quite close. It was right near the end. I remember. It was disappointing. What happened? 'Cause I missed the start. Basically, it's on the stream, but I think like somebody in the mid pack was holding everyone up, weren't they? Going out of the last corner. He dropped away at the end a little bit. You had the measure of him. Awesome stuff. Was that your setup? Did you make that one yourself? As long as it works for you, that's the main thing, isn't it? By the way, sorry we're not. Sorry, I'm not starting it. It's just this bloody computer is going unbelievably slow. You would not believe it. It is. It's painful. Right, I'm going to start the session. Oh, you know. No, I was gonna like, I was gonna kind of like do like an official kind of once the qualifying's underway. I was just gonna like sort of introduce it and just be like, oh, I'm here with the race winner, you know, kind of thing. Uh, oh, you can still qualify. It's the same as if you were just in the game chat. Yeah, so you can still, once obviously the interview's done, and we just like, yeah, you can just jump out of the party and then jump back in to the game chat or whatever. Sorry, mate. I was really distracted because that the computer is never usually that slow. I mean, it's finding new levels at the moment. It's like taking the piss. All right. When we got two commentators who can both be on the game at once. Once we've got two commentators, I'll be sorted. My last one was GT3s. That was the one last season. Did a few GT3 races. Yeah, I won the championship, didn't I? Yeah. Right, I'll cut out the bit before after this race, so this will be like the start. So, a one, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second race of the night here at Motive for the Touring Car Championship. We're at Nurburgring tonight, as we just saw the first race. We saw Revolt Detailer taking his first ever race victory. What an absolutely fantastic performance from him. With a lofty grid position, he made the most of it and ended up winning the race quite convincingly there by pulling away from Doris Steer. Leo, it's been a long time coming. It's been many, many seasons of hard graft and trials and tribulations, but finally, ultimately it's about getting one on the board, isn't it? This one doesn't matter how you get them, and you had to fend off real pressure as well because Doris Steer was on you. You know, there was no doubt he was putting pressure in the first part, but then towards the end of the race, you just came into your own, had the better of him. I mean, you were clearly the quicker driver in that race, and Potter Brown as well was on the back of. I mean, to be fair, there was a 5-car train at one point, and you just put daylight. Yeah, definitely you did. You seemed to get more and more confident as the race went on. Was it a case of the tyre pressures coming in, do you reckon, or is it just being out in front? Coming to set up, is there anybody out there that you want to say a special shout out or thanks to tonight?
I bet you Ozzy is currently kicking himself.
He's like, why did I do so well in the first two races? For God's sake! Obviously, Leo, you've joined Motive a long way into, because we've been racing on Project Cars 2 now. This is the 15th season on Project Cars 2 that we've done. You joined, I think, in the 11th or 12th season that we had. So obviously the guys that you're racing with, some of them are, you know, it's well into the double figures in terms of seasons of development ahead of yourself. So it's taken time to really adjust and get to anywhere near that sort of level. But you seem to be learning. You know, obviously you're learning at twice the pace of the rest of the guys are, and you're closing that gap. No, I definitely know that feeling there. Well, Leo,
Well,
absolutely fantastic.
You're just,
Oh, sorry, Iain.
you're just lucky that me and Andy were retired from racing. Ah ha ha!
We would have got caught out. We would have got caught up in some incident, Iain. You know what we were like.
You want to try that? You really want to test that feeling?
Oh, me and Iain had a few. We had a few comings together. Snetterton was one of them where we were battling for the lead. Last lap, we went into each other, and luckily for us, the dude who was behind us had a penalty, so we still
No,
came
you
1
went
and 2.
into me. You
Anyway.
went into me.
Thank you very much, Leo, and yeah, fantastic job. And best of luck for the next two races.
Take it easy, man.
That was Revolt Detailer taking his first ever win here at Motive. What a fantastic night from him so far, and hopefully he can keep that up because he's got some pace tonight, Emo guy.
Yeah, he definitely seems to. From the way that he was talking there when he was in the booth, he seemed to have a lot of confidence. Something that it's not very easy to gain when especially after this was his first race on this track on this game. So it says a lot about how fast a person can learn.
Definitely so. And when you've got drivers like, obviously, I know that Leo and Jay are good friends in person, in real life, and I know that these two probably have a little bit of banter, generally about, with each other, and I think they must encourage each other to get the best out of one another. When you've got that sort of that added jeopardy of somebody knowing you in real life, that you feel like you've got more of a point to prove than you would just racing
Yeah.
random strangers as well. And Jay being one of our top level drivers, I think he's got some big shoes to fill in that regard. He's
I'll
got a lot to
definitely
live
have
up
to
to.
agree with that. Yeah, because when you start when you start playing a game that your friend has been playing for like probably I don't know how long Jay was playing before we've all got into it, but it's when you start playing a game that your friend has been playing for a lot longer than you. It feels like you have that much more of a reason to learn a lot faster than they did.
It's how I felt. It's exactly how I felt when I went on Rocket League with you, Dan, and G.
Yeah. You felt like you had to learn that at double the pace just to be able to
It's why I ended up
compete at their
commentating,
level.
because I couldn't play the
Yeah.
game. Not
Oh,
to
looks
the
like
standard
Nick
that
has
you
a
guys could.
penalty.
Oh no, Jay's got a
Nick,
penalty.
yeah.
Oh
No,
no.
sorry, I said Nick. He has
So
a
he.
one grid place penalty. It
Oh,
was
Nick.
screen in the pit lane.
Oh my.
Yeah, Nick Devello.
John Boy took pole position off of Jay as well in the dying seconds by 9 thousandths of a
Oh
second.
yeah.
But look at the gaps, Ema guy.
Oh,
600ths of a second between the top four. That is unbelievable.
wow.
That is so
No, it's
tight.
well, the main question is we have to ask: can Revolt do it all over again?
Well, he's going to have to pull an absolute rabbit out of the hat here because he's starting P14. Didn't get a lap in. Obviously, I think I need to take some responsibility for that one. Because we might have been distracting him a bit in the pre. I was saying before, maybe we should do just interviews after the second race, because I think for the qualifying
Yeah.
session there's a bit too much jeopardy. I had to get an interview with him after his first win, though. I just had to.
Yeah.
Um,
He popped his cherry, so it had to be done.
But Leo, I do apologise.
No
um,
lie.
Also, we need to fix. Apparently, according to Emma in the comments, we couldn't hear what he was saying. I heard every word, and
Oh,
obviously,
yeah.
I can tell you, the main part was he mentioned about his battle with Doris and how he was how Doris put him under significant pressure. I did ask him about that after he'd already alluded to it. So he was the first person to mention Doris being a contender in that race. But yeah, he just said about how he's been doing this for 4 seasons, and the guys who he's been racing with all push him to a very high standard, and it's really because of the drivers who he's racing with. That's the reason why he's been able to extract such a high performance and get to such a strong level so quickly. Yeah, yeah. Would you say that's a fair summary, Ian?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think you might have been able to hear some of the conversation, because I did put the headphones up to the mic when I saw Emma's comment. But yeah, we'll need to obviously sort that out for the next time that we get Leo in the booth, which hopefully will be sooner rather than later. He has actually disconnected from the session though,
Oh no.
which is a bit worrying.
Oh.
So we're not going to have our race 1 winner on the grid here for this second race, but nonetheless, we're almost about to go lights out here for race 2, and here we go, lights out and away we go. And John Boy didn't get a great start. Jay got a much better launch and has already taken the lead here, coming down towards turn 1. But the BMW of Mike, after the standing start, you're getting its usual rocket ship launch as it comes down towards turn 1. And Mike covers off Jay as they just goes a little bit later on the brakes and taps him in the rear there. But Mike gets it stopped for turn 1 and gets it through safely. Bit of a slide there on exit as John Boy look up the inside of Jay here into turn 2. And John Boy look up the inside of Mike as well. John Boy back up into the lead. Incredible turnaround there. Jay follows him through and Mike back down to 4th place. Cobb's up his inside as well here. A bit of contact there between the two of them, but Cobb there makes the move up into P3. And that is job done there for Cobb, and now Mike might lose out to Aussie as well. Yeah, Mike is going backwards here after an unbelievable launch off of the line. The BMW's tyres struggling to get up to temperature in the early stages of this race, and he's back down to P5. So what a topsy-turvy race this has been for Mike already, and we're only 6 corners in, but it's John Boy leading ahead of Jay with Cobb in third, Aussie Albie and Mike your top 5, followed by Nick the Villa with Part Pooper, Team MW, Craig and Charlie Goff the top 10, Pot the Brown, Doris Steer and the Mutts Nuts completing the classification, but we're without Revolt Detailer after his race 1 win earlier on. Leo, if you're listening to the stream, mate, jump in the party chat, you might as well commentate with us. But
I
yeah.
guess that just goes to show the power handling difference between the Megane and the BMW. The BMW has the better straight line speed, but the Megane has much better handling in the corners.
Absolutely, and the tyres take so much longer to warm up with the BMW, even though it's so quick off of the line due to the extra power, and also due to the fact that it's a rear-wheel drive car. The power just generates to the it's so much quicker at launching, but you know, ultimately, yeah, much easier. Leo, what happened? Oh.
Oh no.
Was that did the Ethernet cable go ping? All 3 wide into turn 1 as Cobb there trying to thread the needle, trying to attack on Jay as they come into turn 2. Jay's going to just about cover that one off for the time being, as we can see Aussie giving Cobb a bit of a tap in the rear there going through turn 3. But Mike's still queuing up behind these, and it's turning into a real close battle here for second place. John Boy though, riding off into the sunset here. He's a second and a half clear. Leo, also, if you go into party settings, make sure you got your voice enabled to be shared, because they couldn't hear you on the stream and the interviews. I did put my headphones up to the mic, so I don't know if they might have heard some of what you were saying. I did actually clarify what you were saying. I mean, we can talk about it after this anyway, but yeah, we can go over it again. But yeah, they couldn't hear it. But if you enable your voice to be shared, and then it should be all right. As Mikey moving ahead of Aussie on the exit of the hairpin, is he going to get this one done up towards the Schumacher S's? Aussie's still going to try and hold himself there, just tagging the curve a bit, as these two still running side by side, and Aussie just manages to stay ahead of Mike. Mike's struggling to make any significant progress here in these early stages. He's got Nick the Villa now looking on the back of him here. Nick the Villa, once again, the man's a chameleon. He changes his livery every single race.
At least to keep things fresh.
Allow your voice to be shared, and then put always allow.
Always allow. That
So,
there we go.
let's play it back. Let's run it back and see.
Should
Once again, the man's a chameleon. He changes his livery every single race. Allow your voice to be shared, and then put always allow. Ah, yeah, you're perfectly audible now, Leo, but we can hear you on the stream. As Aussie here looking down the inside into turn 1, trying to get this move back down on Mike. These two have been running close now for a few laps. It's starting to boil over a little bit. Aussie managing to still hold it around the outside of the Mercedes arena. In the meantime, Cobb's got ahead of Jay up into second place, so he missed that one whilst we're watching this battle here.
John Boy's taking that, isn't he?
John Boy's well and truly gone, hasn't he?
He's off, he's taking... Yeah, there's no catching that up.
Mikey looking to the outside into turn 5, trying to go around the outside of Aussie Albie. And he's going to hold the momentum there. He just does it, and Mike there. Oh, he's gone a bit wide. Yeah, he's going to get that one done though. Has he got that one held? Yeah, he has. Mike up into 4th place there. John Boy though, still out in front. 2 seconds is gap over Cobb. Cobb and Jay unable to really make any inroads on John Boy at the moment. Part Pooper Rex is trying to pressure Nick the Villa for P6 at this moment. Pot the Brown running in 8th ahead of Team MW, followed by Charlie Goff. Doris Steer on the back of Charlie at this moment in time. But Craig there with them as well. But the Mutts Nuts had a nightmare first couple of laps to the race. Don't know what's happened to him, but he's nowhere in this one. He's now... Well, it's not even showing where he is because he still hasn't passed through the sector point that the leaders have gone through. So we don't quite know where the nuts is yet. He surely isn't 1 minute 59 behind. Maybe he is. Maybe he is a lap down. In fact, he is. You can see the leaders behind him. So the nuts. No, hold on. Has he missed a sector point? Because he seems to be in the middle of the pack.
It could be. He couldn't have missed a sector point.
I wonder why he's showing up as at the back when he's in the middle of the pack. Is he a lap down? He must be a lap down. That's the only conclusion I can come to there. But as we come down the start finish straight,
his last lap, well, before he just
4 minute 20.
there, it was a 4. Yeah.
As
He has
Mike,
to be a lap down. Yeah, he has, just looking at the map.
yeah, but did he miss a sector point? That's what I mean. Mike here looking, because he might not have actually gone a lap down. He might just missed a sector. Oh, there's contact there. Ozzy goes to the back of Mike, and oh, Ozzy's been tagged in the back as well there. But Mike is down the pack. He's got damage. He's got big damage there, and that contact has really cost Mike here in this race. He's going to have to limp round to the pits. That's going to be his chances of some good points in this race out of the window completely. And it all stemmed from Ozzy going into the back of him a little bit too aggressively. I've got to say that one's probably on Ozzy Albi from what we saw live. I don't know whether the onboard footage might tell a different story there. But in the meantime, we've got a big battle going on as they're going through turn 5 currently. You've got Craig here, who's going up the inside of Nick the Villa. Nick the Villa was also the other car involved. There was 3 cars involved. It was Ozzy, Mike, and Nick the Villa got involved in the aftermath there. So Nick the Villa also struggling with damage here. So Nick the Villa and Mike are going to have to be in at the end of this lap. Either that, or they're going to be limping around trying to do a bit of damage limitation here in this race. But it's John Boy still leading by 2.5 seconds at the moment ahead of Cobb. You've got Jay just over a second off at the back of Cobb at the moment. Ozzy Albi still running in 4th ahead of Parp Hooper. Potter Brown there, P6 at the moment, just ahead of Team MW. And Team MW's got Charlie still hassling the back of him. The Nuts is in the middle of that pack, which is confusing the hell out of me at the moment. But Nick there going wide, and that might allow Mike to move through. It does allow Mike through up into 11th place. But what a race is turning out to be. Plenty of carnage. We've seen 2 drivers wiped out with damage, and the one who started the chain reaction has got away relatively scot-free. Ozzy Albi has seemingly not really suffered any consequences at all for that. Which is quite lucky.
Yeah, it seemed to have got off with that relatively scot-free, which is pretty unheard of given the nature of these cars and the physics of the game.
Oh, Team MW looking down the inside into turn 1. Charlie Goff holding it around the outside, and Team MW just got into that little dip there going into the corner, which has lost him momentum. And Doris D now looking to the outside into turn 2. Team MW is going to hold on to that one. He was trying to make a move up the inside of Charlie Goff. It didn't quite work out. But Doris Steer unable to capitalise. Big lock up there from Team MW, but holds on to the position for the time being.
Seems like they're all settling down into their places.
Yeah, they're all starting to just eke the gap out. Like you say, I think they've all found their pace. Cobb is keeping the gap to John Boy around 2 seconds. He's actually slightly quicker on the previous lap, 1/10 of a second quicker. So goes to show, if Cobb hadn't had a difficult first couple of laps, he might have had a chance to challenge John Boy, but I think that gap's too big. Barring a mistake from John Boy, I think that John Boy should be able to see this one out and take the win.
Yeah, John Boy will hold that as, you know, when you've got the open track and clear air, no one's going to put you under pressure. I think he's going to take that win nicely. Cobb and Jay would have been a nice little battle to see.
Do you reckon that John Boy's probably managing the gap at this point, Leo? Obviously, you were in a similar situation to him in race 1. Do you think he's just keeping it cool?
Pushing it, and he at the pressure, I think he's, you know, he'll stay at that speed all the way through. But I would know Jay and Cobb will be argumentally pushing it to the limits to get up onto it. Matter of fact.
Well, you say that, and it looks like Jay's closed the gap to Cobb a little bit, because that was a little bit more than what it was. Or well, Cobb was still slightly quicker than Jay on that previous lap, but I think that Cobb might have pulled out a bit in the first part of the lap, and Jay maybe closed it down in the second part of the lap. But we see Cobb big lock up there into turn 1. The gap just under 2 seconds, so both Cobb and Jay were slightly quicker than John Boy. but not by much though, not by enough. So it's really going to be about John Boy just managing this one out and just keeping his cool and not making any mistakes here.
A lot of tricky corners on this track.
Pot the Brown down the inside of Charlie into P6. Yeah, Pot the Brown making a position up there. Good stuff from him. Tell you what though, Aussie Albie running in P4 has got to be counting his chickens, because he kind of did trigger that incident, which ended up taking both Mike and Nick out of the race, but he's still in there, still in a really good points paying position. Again, I might be being harsh on him, I might have just looked at it a bit wrong. Maybe Mike had a moment which caused him to suddenly slow down in front of him, but it did look a bit like Aussie went steaming into the back of him. Again, don't want to be pointing too many fingers at this stage, because ultimately I don't want to be playing the blame game where it's not really just, if you see what I mean. But
Aussie,
yeah.
Mate, come on, sort it out.
Yeah, come on, mate. Should have at least stick it in the wall to settle the score.
Yeah,
what, is that,
well,
what,
he's got a good setup, as I say. He's got a great little setup that I took the first place in. So
yeah, we better not upset him, because otherwise you'll be losing your secret recipe if we upset him.
Yeah, no, I don't think that was on purpose. Aussie's a good, safe, honest.
For all we know, it might not even been his fault. It might have just been the naked eye, you know, at first glance.
Is that a lot better? Is that a lot better brown? I see on your nose there, Revolt.
To be fair, no, I feel quite bad now for pointing the finger and being so accusational to begin with, because I think in hindsight, I'm starting to think maybe it wasn't his fault at all. Maybe I was just jumping to conclusions and being trigger happy. You know, potentially he might not have even done anything wrong.
That BMW's, you know, needs a bit more early braking, but as you know, Mike, he knows what he's doing. You know, might have just outbraked himself, or braked 20, you know, Aussie braked.
Yeah, I think that this whole guilty before proven innocent for Aussie Albie, I think we should give him a fair trial first. Definitely, yeah.
Nah.
I'm starting to backtrack
Aussie,
now.
guilty.
That's not sent up to the fire squad just yet.
Not just yet.
No. We can
get
the electric chair we can have ready. We can have the electric chair ready, but not the firing squad.
Oh, is Jay just caught up with?
Oh, Charlie looking to the inside on Pot the Brown into the hairpin. Sorry, no, Pot the Brown looking at the Charlie on Pot the Brown. Pot the Brown making a move there on Charlie. Sorry, up into P6. So it was Pot the Brown attacking on Charlie. Poor old Nick the Villa though. What can you say? I mean, if he didn't have bad luck, he would have no luck. Still in the pit box.
That saying seems to be quite convenient for a lot of drivers lately.
But we've got John Boy coming into the final chicane here, and this man's had a pretty seamless race here in race 2. Got out, got on with it, and has really put in the work, and he's going to bring it home for quite a comfortable win. Definitely so. As he comes up towards the line, a flash of lights from John Boy as he takes the checkered flag. Well clear of Cobb in the end, who takes P2. Jay's going to come over to complete the podium. Some good points in the bag there for him as well. Aussie Albie P4, but potentially with a bit of a question mark hanging over that one. Hartford P5 ahead of Pot the Brown, who takes P6, with Charlie P7 ahead of Team MW in 8th. We've got Craig in 9th with Mike in 10th. The Mutts Nuts has already finished a lap down, and Nick the Villa finishing the race in the pit lane. And Nick, please retire the car, please, otherwise we've got to wait 2 minutes for this to end. So please, Nick, if you're listening, retire the car
Have mercy.
so we can get this over with.
Have mercy, please.
But in the meantime, we've unfortunately lost Leo from the commentary box again. His connection's decided no, once again.
No, he's probably tried to disconnect the air freshener again.
So yeah, unfortunately we're missing Leo there, so we can't talk to him about his first win. Although obviously we spoke to him about it in the interval before the second race. You guys couldn't hear him, and now we've got his mic sorted, his internet's now gone. So unfortunately, we're still not going to be able to get any words with Leo just yet. Hopefully we can get some. He's now joined the session again, so hopefully Leo can get himself back in the party and we can have a chat about that first win ever here at Motive Racing for him. But also we're going to get John Boy, Cobb and Jay in the party chat alongside Leo and alongside myself and Emo Guy to chat about race 2. But Iain, what can we say? John Boy, flawless from lights to flag there.
Yeah, you know, it's like most races. He's got pole, just put his foot down from the start, just went for it, kept his head down, didn't let anyone behind him distract him or take him off his lines. He just did what he had to do. Kept his, put his car on the correct lines and just kept on driving.
He absolutely did. Just kept it consistent. And what can you really say about that performance? You can't really say anything negative about it. That's for sure. But Cobb P2 as well, just kept himself going. Jay did drop off them a little bit at the end. Maybe he'd just given up because it was getting late in the race and potentially the gaps were just too big. But we're still waiting on the potential steward's inquiry here on Aussie Albie and his incident with Mike, and obviously what ended up being an incident with Nick Lavilla as well, albeit Aussie Albie's incident was only with Mike, but that did trigger another incident which potentially could also be looked at between the other two. But and that is that then for race 2, and your podium finishers John Boy, Cobb and Jay. Hopefully we can get all three of them in the commentary booth before we start for this final race of the evening. We'll be live on a new stream for that, and we'll be posting that on the Discord in a few minutes time, so stick with us and we'll be back very, very soon indeed.